All right, everyone, we'll go ahead and get started with our media availabilities today. First in, we're very happy to have with us a very special guest of Bristol Motor Speedway this weekend. We're celebrating his 20th anniversary of his first night race victory back in 2003. Mr. Kurt Busch, 2004 Cup champion, 34 Cup wins. And Kurt, does it feel like it's been 20 years? I know it's even longer than that since your first win at Bristol, but 20 years since your first night race win.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, but it's been an awesome ride and a fun ride, and thank you for the recognition. And to have won yours 6 times over the years, with 3 different teams, the track, the way that I figured this place out was through the School of Hard Knocks, though. My 2001 rookie year, I wrecked both times, knocked out as many radiators as the team had, and that was before the pedestrian tunnel. So I had to sit in the infield and watch the rest of the races. Couldn't even leave. So that's when I was like, you know what, you better figure this place out. And then when Sharpie, my main sponsor at the time at Roush, sponsored the night race, I'm like, wow, just a little bit of extra added pressure here. Here we go. And so it's been a fun ride, fun journey. To have won here in 2002 for my first ever race, and then to win again with Stuart Haas in 2018. That was 16 years in between a run at a track, and that's something that I'm proud of. To have just had that many opportunities to win, though, it's from all the cool race teams and great people that have worked on the cars that I've driven and raced. And so it's with the teams, the people, the atmosphere here. I always tell race fans that this is a top 5 venue that you need to get on your bucket list. We talk about Daytona 500, the Coke 600. You can go in a few different directions from there, but of course the Southern 500. My home track in Vegas, I think it's a top one that drivers want to win at. Road courses, super speedways, but this is the best short track that we race on, and this is why I call it a top 5 event. It's tough, it's mean, it's relentless. It has the atmosphere of a stadium with the Coliseum effect, and just the overall ambiance of this place. It's not easy to get to, right? You got to commit when you're coming to Bristol, and when you get here, you're pleasantly surprised on how awesome this place is. So thank you, Bristol, to all the many years of fun.
Of course, Kurt, 6-time Bristol winner. You talked about your 2018 night race win. A lot of journalists called that an instant classic. You actually christened the track with a name. A lot of people realize Dale Earnhardt Jr. did It's Bristol, baby. But that night you did the Holy Grail of short tracks. You called it that. Did that just come to you? Had been thinking about that?
Well, it's because it's so special. And when you win here, the opportunities are tough. They're slim to have a quality car and a quality team. And when you're able to line up all the puzzle pieces to win at such a cool place, that's what rang in my head on this is the Holy Grail of tough, mean short tracks. And again, it's the track, it's the grandstands, it's the people, and just how loud it is here, and what it takes to find that right rhythm. I mean, you can't just bulldoze people out of the way. You have to learn to finesse your way around this racetrack while running 15-second lap times. It's only for the top dogs that have figured it out. And just walking in right now, a few minutes ago, I bumped into Jeff Hammond, who was crew chief for many of Darrell Waltrip's victories. And Darrell will always tell you, as a racer, that he put a headrest in on his right side of his headrest, and that helped him with stamina. That way he could stay fresher longer in the 500-lap races with the bigger, heavier cars. And I looked straight at him one time, and I go, that is some BS, Darrell. But you know what? Whatever you guys had to win 12 times here, you had it. And it was really neat just to have my chance to win here a few times. And then my little brother now has 8, so he did jump ahead of me on the total win count here.
We'll open it up for questions for Kurt. Raise your hand, and we'll get a mic to you. Okay, Jay.
Jay Pennell with Racing America. For a team that's been so new to the sport, 100 races for 2311, they had both drivers in the playoffs last year, 5 wins with you, Bubba, and Tyler. What has been the thing that has really kind of led to that team success and kind of expand on your role now, helping them find more success.
You know, our motto at 2311 is forward together. We really do a lot of unique things within our structure to make sure that the amount of crew members that are working on these cars are all committed to both the car number 23 and the car number 45. You know, the pit crews might show up for each specific car number. The engineers and a few other of the wrenches and the mechanics show up just for the specific car number. After that, it is a basket weaving process where everything is layered so that the engineer on the 45 will keep track of something on the 23. The race strategist on the 23 will help something with the 45. It's a concept that is new to our sport, but it's not new to motorsports. It's things you see in Formula One, or it's things you see in MotoGP, where you have your group of men and women who go to the track, the ones that stay back at the race shop, and then a powerful marketing team, you know, that's led within our group by Steve Laletta, our president, who reports to a guy named Michael Jordan and a guy named Denny Hamlin. We've got a bunch of power players in power spots, and for me, I'm kind of an overseer in all categories. This past week, I was in Dallas at the National Sales Convention for Beast. Beast is the Monster energy drink. That's an alcohol brand. And we had distributors and wholesalers from all across the country there at that event. And those are things that we're doing to try to continue to push to make a bigger splash here in NASCAR.
We'll go over here for our next question.
Zach Sterniello, NASCAR.com. Kurt, on your left here. Understanding that Bubba is coming in beneath the elimination line tonight, do you have any conversations with him heading into a race like this? Obviously, you're so well versed in how these playoffs work and how volatile they can be. This being his first experience on the driver's side of these playoffs, what conversations have you had with Bubba?
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job. Bubba Wallace did a phenomenal job last year driving the car for 2311 that was playoff eligible. And he embraced it really well. His consistency, his demeanor, and his willingness to want to do something for the race team and not necessarily himself. He grew quite a bit last year, and that's why you're seeing more out of him this year. You know, and then on the fun side of things, keeping it real, keeping it honest. I wore shoes today, of course. Got our Jordan brand thing, but this is Eye of the Tiger for Bubba today, okay? This is for you, Bubba. Let's roll, buddy. So these are things that we're doing behind the scenes to always have fun, keep pushing. And Bubba's in a position that's a tough one to be in, but he was put in this position due to a flat tire at Kansas. Otherwise, he would be plus 20, but a few other guys could say the same thing. And so that's where I try to change his mindset as fast as I can on, you weren't given a bad hand. A bunch of guys were. Now we got to dig out of this together.
All right, we'll go to Ben White.
Ben White, Fayetteville Observer. Kurt, when you won the championship in 2004, what did you do in the final race or two to stay focused to win that championship? I mean, what did you do to stay on top of it and win it?
I tried to make the days go by as fast as they could in between each Sunday. I think I mowed my grandma's lawn 15 times during those 10 weeks. I went down to Key West to go fishing for a couple days early and just tried to stay busy with things away from motorsports, away from the team, because we had already done our homework. We had already chosen our setups. You know, back then we could test during the playoffs, you know, choose a racetrack and go there and test 10 days prior to the event. So we had a busy 10 weeks. And that was the best thing for me as a young kid. I was 26. Just was to stay busy and stay the course.
Go ahead, Ben.
Okay. One other quick one. When you come to Bristol, when you were driving here and you won all those times, the days leading up to Bristol, what did you do mentally to prepare for this place? Because you're looking at 500 laps, and I mean, did you just have to sit down and concentrate on, I've got this beast that I've got to go into and race this place? I mean, what'd you do to get prepared for it?
I was lucky enough to win a bunch of races early when I was young, and you know, you could do so many different things in your young 20s that you can't when you're in your later 30s. And As time progressed, I had that confidence, though, to know how to win here and how to apply it to the race. And when you find things to calm you down, breath work, working out and staying ahead of it, hydration, you add in all those ingredients to get ahead of it before you race here.
All right, we'll go with Steven and then over to Bruce.
Steven Toronto, CBS Sports. Kurt, right here. When Tyler won at Coda earlier this year, you were in the booth for Fox, and there was a nice tender moment during the last lap when you realized that Tyler was driving the 45, your car, to victory. With Tyler having won last week, did you have a moment like that again, or has his announcing your retirement a couple weeks ago in Daytona and moving on to the next phase of your career at 2311 allowed you to be able to process and see those things a little easier?
You said a key 4-letter word in your question, and you said your car. 45 in that moment became Tyler's car. I wanted him to know that in victory lane as well. And that's where there's those different things. Not one thing leads up to my announcement for retirement from full-time racing and from the Cup Series. It's things like that make you feel like you've done the right thing, and now here's the reins, kid. It's your car. You need to have the confidence now. These are your guys. And so that's something to where last week, again, was very special at Kansas. I was at the war room with the race team, and you can just feel the energy of everyone there because of how good our setups have been at Kansas and the mile and a halves. And so Tyler's a driver of the 45 car.
And you mentioned you mentioned the war room at 2311. Exactly, can you divulge exactly what your responsibilities in there are?
I'm the CFO. I'm the captain of the fund department. Sorry, CFD. Yeah, CFD, captain of the fund department. Right. No, it's a room that you would see in NASA settings with all of our telemetry. The engineers were on a headset connected to the pit box. It's live during practice. It's live during qualifying, the race. There's things that I see that I'm tuned in on with our in-car cameras. There's things I'm tuned in on with the broadcast and my general notebooks and my knowledge of this is something that you're supposed to do at lap 100 at Kansas, or, hey, keep track of tire wear early in the race on the lower air pressures, and that's when we saw the right rear issues. And that's just communicating with the team to help verify when somebody has a question that I give them the confidence to know how to go forward with it.
Thanks, Kurt.
All right, now we'll go to Bruce and then Michael.
Bruce Martin with Speed Sport and Forbes. Driver you raced against at Indy in 2014 is having a pretty rough go of it. Simon Pagenaud, do you see any similarities in his recovery from what you've had to go through, and have you been able to speak with him?
Yeah, his marketing agency and scheduling agency is the same as mine, and so I was able to get his phone number very quickly, and I've communicated with him, text, phone calls, even things with his wife, just to add in where I can help and to offer different doctors that I've seen and different procedures that I've gone through. But his is very similar.
And how difficult is that type of injury? If you break your arm or break your leg, you have an idea when you're going to be back to 100%. But with this, there is no rule book or instruction book that comes with a head injury.
Yeah, at the end of the day, working with different neurologists, I've learned that there's 6 different major types of concussions, and then there's 20 to 30 variants of each. Age can come into play. The violent accident that was the final one of you couldn't pass the concussion protocol. Then there's quantity of wrecks and other things over time that add up. So it's not just a playbook that says, hey, you broke your arm and you're going to be back in 3 weeks or 6 weeks. A guy like Aaron Rodgers just tore his Achilles tendon, and is his schedule the same as a young guy that would tear it and have that same injury? We don't know.
All right, we'll take our last question over here with Michael.
Michael Massey, Front Stretch. Kurt, people have enjoyed the times you've been on TV and doing the TV work. There's rumors of a third TV partner coming in to do like a summer series or something. If they called you up and said, hey, we want you to be the color guy, would you consider it?
Yeah, I would consider it. You know, I feel like the time that I've spent with Fox has been well served with 2 years of doing Truck Series playoffs. You know, as many Xfinity races as I could get my hands on. You know, the TV booth for the Cup stuff is, you know, the show. That's where I would want to be and be part of. And if there's a new TV partner or if there's a streaming side of how things would be presented to millions of race fans, I'm open to any and all ideas. It just seems like with the NBC side and Fox side that they had their decisions made and that they've already moved forward with their chosen analysts and how they're going to operate. But I'm all around. I'm ready and open for anything. Maybe we do, once my brother's done racing, we do the Busch Brothers cast, you know, where we're hanging out at a bar making fun of all the guys going in circles.
All right. Do you have a pick for tonight, by the way, Kurt?
I got my boy Bubba. But no, the way that the Toyotas have been running as of late, you got 2 on the front row and a good group of guys that need to, you know, dig deep to find the points and to advance their way in. And then there's some that, you know, can ride a little bit and work their cushion in points. So I think Denny can be the most aggressive with the best starting position. That's my pick, and it's not just because he's my boss.
All right. Well, we appreciate you spending some time with us today. Thank you.